Welcome back to the channel. Sean here, just hopping on to record a quick video on talking about the recent Flash movie and everything like that. I guess apparently now the movie, it's out, and it looks like it did not perform well or live up to the standards that I think a lot of us movie fans were expecting it to live up to. And I want to jump into why is that? Why did that happen? This is a completely opinion-based film. If you loved it, you loved it. If you hated it, you hated it. I'm not trying to get you to think a type of way. I'm not trying to get you to see the film a type of way or anything like that. Like, these are completely my thoughts, my theories, my own opinions. They don't even reflect the rest of the team and stuff like that. But I just felt like we needed to hop on here and make this video. So let's jump right into it. My first point that I want to get into is I want to talk about the source material. Now, if you're a Flash fan and you know anything about the Flash, you know for a fact that, the Flashpoint storyline is one that is really, really crucial to the Flash's identity, his character. It was a complete reboot for the DC Comics world. That's where we got the new 52, all the brand new suits and stuff like that. And so Flashpoint was a really pivotal point in Barry Allen's life. It has him running back in time to stop the death of his mom, which we see in the movie. We also saw a version of that in the Flash TV series at the beginning of season 3. And so I think one of the biggest problems with the Flash of the movie was that a lot of things that should have been done in this movie, they just did not do. This was supposed to be their swan song. This was supposed to be the DCEU's swan song. It's supposed to be a send-off into the sunset. The old is gone, the new is on its way. That's what it was supposed to be, and that's not what we got. And I think that it should be said something about, the Flashpoint Paradox, the animated movie, perfect. Even the adaptation that the Flash TV series did in the CW, also perfect. Didn't go to the links that the comic book issues went to, or that that the Flashpoint Paradox movie went to, but it, both of those stayed true to what made Barry Allen the Flash. And I felt like in this movie there was none of that. Their version of Flashpoint, while being great to explore, did not live up to, I think, the hype that everyone had been giving it. To me, I did not see a complete reset of the DCEU, or I didn't see any type of reset at all, to be honest with you. A big part of the Flashpoint Paradox is Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash. That is an element that was not in the film. And I'm just doing all spoilers now, but Reverse Flash is not in the film. We don't even really get to know who killed Barry's mom in the film. And, I think that there's something to be said about that. The longer you watch our videos and the more that you listen to the podcast, you'll know that, and I'll say this repeated number of times sometimes, I'm a big fan of, iconic hero going against iconic villain. I think that you need to have those two icons going one-on-one against each other. And there are a lot of things in the DCEU that they just never gave us. We never got a classic Superman against Lex. We never got, Ben Affleck's Batman against Joker. And now we definitely are not going to get Ezra Miller's Flash against, Eobard Thawne. That's a big part of the Flash, and I think that Eobard Thawne needed to be in this movie. And so that's what I'm talking about when it comes to source material, is that everything was laid out for them in a brilliant plan, and a brilliant they had the material there. And I know, people always say that you can't compare the MCU or the DCU together. There's something to be said about the formula that the MCU had that consistently worked for them time and time again through phases 1 and 3. There's something to be said about them taking a blend of all of the origin stories and the different pivotal moments in comics and bringing them to life. And in my opinion, the DCEU, this recent Flash movie, they had an opportunity to do that several times, and they just never wanted to bark up that tree for some reason. Not sure why. They just never wanted to. Another point that I want to get at is, this was supposed to be the swan song. Why not bring back everyone? And by everyone, I mean including everything. And by everything, I mean, yes, the CW stuff. We were blessed with 9 seasons of The Flash. Not very many shows these days get 9 complete seasons. And there were a lot of things that I love about The Flash. There's a lot of things that I love about the Arrowverse. Yes, there are a bunch of things that I didn't like about the Arrowverse and everything like that. But there's something to be said about when the Flash TV series was announced, so was the movie. And, that was 10 years. We waited 10 years for this Flash movie. And we got 9 complete seasons. I think it was a complete and utter shame to not have Grant Gustin's Barry Allen in this film. To also not bring back, every other Batman comes back except for, I think you could have had Robert Pattinson in this movie. You could have had Christian Bale in this movie. This was supposed to be the swan song moment. And everyone calling it the greatest comic book movie ever. Well, that was Across the Spider-Verse. And before that, that was Into the Spider-Verse. And as far as I'm concerned, those are the only 2 movies, and if you have seen those movies, those are the only 2 movies that have the comic code certification at the beginning of the film. So there's something to be said in that. I just think that, with the hype killed this movie. The hype is what killed this movie. Everybody was raving about this film. Everyone was talking about how this was supposed to be the one. This was supposed to be the thing that took it to the, it's a wrap up. Here's a cherry on top. We got, the best ice cream sundae you could possibly have, called The Flash. And this is great. I mean, you had Tom Cruise raving about it. You had James Gunn raving about it. And Stephen King raving about it. All these people. The hype train derailed this movie from the start. And this is nothing against Andy Muschietti or Ezra Miller. I personally loved Ezra Miller in this movie. And on the channel, obviously, we don't condone anything that Ezra Miller has been accused of or has done. But he killed it in this film. He did a phenomenal job in this film. And I just think that there's so much to love about the character of the Flash. This movie did not really offer those things. This movie, like I said, it wasn't the swan song that everyone had made it out to be. And I think that there's something to be said about that. And as I wrap up this video, I do want to talk about just how one of the other things that probably hurt this film was the announcement of the new DCU, coming to the big screens that James Gunn announced a couple of months ago. I think the moment that was announced, all of the hype and all of the expectation really got derailed for this film, because at that point the Flash movie just literally became, okay, so why is this even coming out, basically. I think a lot of that played a part into this film, because it's like, oh, okay, here's this new DC slate, here's all these new movies, Batman Brave and the Bold and Superman Legacy, and all this newness that's coming, and it really overshadowed the old. It really made things feel like, okay, well, I guess we're done with Flash, and we're done with Aquaman and the Snyderverse, and we're putting a wrap to all of that stuff. All of that stuff's getting laid to rest. And so I think that when you think about those things and you think about those factors, it really hurt the release of this film going into it. And I know that there's gigantic, humongous backlash about the visual effects. I thought there was way too much CGI in this film. It was really off-putting, I think. There's just a couple of sequences that just made it really feel, you had 10 years to make this. Why does it look like this? And just a lot of negative impact going into this film that I think has just really hurt it. But that being said, those are just some of the reasons why I think the Flash movie is in the place that it's in right now, in the situation that it's in, and why it's hurting. So I'm Sean. Thank you for watching this video. Thanks for hanging out with Brothers of the Half Circle. We can't wait to hear your thoughts. Leave a thought in the comment what you think about the Flash movie. Why do you think it's struggling or has been struggling or anything like that? And let us know what you thought about the movie. If you loved it, put a heart there. If you hated it, put a thumbs down. We love interacting with you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today for this video, and we'll see you guys very soon.